Hello. Today marks 1 month that we have been officially sheltering at home. We're learning so much about our resourcefulness and our ability to respond to the challenges we could have hardly imagined as little as a few months ago. It is also the sixth day of Passover, which in our collective memory is when our people were getting ready to cross what was thought to be an impassable sea. Even as we deal with the challenges of this pandemic, with each day we draw closer to a time when the worst part of this is over and we begin to adjust to the new life on the other side of this terrible illness. Starting on the first night of Passover, the second Seder, Jews around the world began counting the Omer. This was a marking of the time between the liberation from slavery on Passover and the receiving of the Torah at Mount Sinai that we celebrate on the holiday of Shavuot. Some Jews say the blessing for the counting of the Omer and then actually count the day we are on. For instance, today it would be, that is last night, and today it would be, this is the fifth day of the Omer. The Omer was the first sheaf of barley reaped in the season and brought to the temple as an offering to God. In the Jewish mystical tradition, each of these 49 days between Passover and Shavuot has two special qualities that we're invited to meditate on, to hold. Last night and all day today, the special qualities are Hod Shebechesed, which means splendor within loving kindness. So what can this mean to us in our situation? What is the quality of loving kindness that is truly exceptional, beyond what we might normally think possible? I'm reminded of a story of one of the great rabbis of our generation, Rabbi Harold Kushner. Rabbi Kushner is quite brilliant. I once heard him speak for a full hour without notes, and each sentence flowed out of him like poetry, and his insights were deep, and his thinking is accessible and vibrant. Rabbi Kushner had a son who suffered from progeria, a premature aging disease. Tragically, the boy died in his mother's arms 2 days after his 14th birthday. This shattered Rabbi Kushner's reality and forced him to look deeply into questions regarding human suffering. Some of you might have read the book that he wrote from this experience, When Bad Things Happen to Good People. It's a very personal, powerful encounter with the greatest tragedy a human being can endure. What Rabbi Kushner learned, his discovery of the most refined splendor of loving kindness, was that there are things that happen to us in this life that we can never understand. We want to know why. Why this virus? Why now? Why? And we don't get to know why. However, in our Jewish tradition, we're taught God is in the response. We do get to respond. That is within our power. In the midst of this terrible suffering, countless people reached out to Rabbi Kushner and his family. They brought food. They sat with him quietly when he was silent. They spoke with him when he wished to speak. Through this enormous chesed, kindness of the people around him, Rabbi Kushner sensed God, felt God through their response. My friends, for me, that is the ultimate example of Hod Shebechesed, splendor in loving kindness. So we are asked on this fifth day of the counting of the Omer, tonight we count 6, which is also the sixth day of Passover. What is our response going to be today? How can we respond to this planetary virus affecting us, sheltering at home today? How can we respond to our loved ones and friends in a way that manifests God in our lives? What act of kindness is within our reach, reminding us of the gift of our lives in this moment? Who can we call and comfort? Who can we express our love to and in sharing this love, touch another's heart and raise them up, raise ourselves up into a higher consciousness, a greater awareness? We can all do this. Most of us, thank God, are not facing tragedy. There are many worthy organizations that are struggling to survive while their doors are closed. Think about who we might support. Our contribution might keep these organizations alive. And by the way, our own Beth Chaim Synagogue is among these organizations. If you are able to support us, we are in need of your support now. We can be creative. We can help others who are not as fortunate as ourselves. Our rabbis teach us every person must say, the whole world was created for me. But if the world was created for me, then I must pay attention and open my heart to what the world needs. Each one of us, has a responsibility to do tikkun olam, to repair the world. And God knows there are so many ways the world needs repair at this moment. I hope to see you online as we welcome Shabbat this Friday evening on Facebook Live. On Shabbat morning at 11 a.m., we will engage in Torah study on Zoom, meaning we will look at what insights the Torah might have for us now in the middle of all of this. Saturday night at 7 p.m., we will say goodbye to Shabbat with a brief and lovely Havdalah ceremony. Please join us. It's so good to stay connected to community at this time. May each one of us consider how we can be agents of Tikkun Olam, repair of our world, now. Take care. Stay well. Shalom.